So I got a lot of comments last time about replacing humans with animals, and to that I say, if you want to talk to boring humans who don't do anything, go outside. Before I start the video, don't worry, I'm not about to shill out for some popular mobile game, because Raid Shadow Legends won't hit me up. Baby, where are you? No, I'm actually here to advertise something you'll probably enjoy if you like this series. You may or may not have seen this little guy popping up on my channel from time to time, but if you hadn't, this is Motobug. He's really angry at Dr. Robotnik, so for over a year now, he's made it his mission to take him down. After some very staggered releases, Motobug is back in a brand new series that features a totally original story with a cast of new characters, and it's a sprite animation. Kind of. So basically, if you enjoy my story rewrite videos, then you'll like Motobug even more, since they're actually the same thing, except I put more effort into the Motobug episodes. Make sure to check out the first episode of the Magnificent Motobug by clicking the card at the top of the video, the link in the description, or the link in the pinned comment. Thank you guys so much, and on with the rest of this. The screen fades in from black. We're looking through someone's eyes as they're regaining consciousness. They look side to side, but it's nighttime and they can't see much. The figure lifts its hand into view and a cyan glow emits from it. As Silver looks around again, the dead eyes of Mephiles enter his vision suddenly, causing him to leap backwards in surprise. The camera then settles on the two hedgehogs from the side as Silver eases back towards him. So you're awake. It looks like you've bounced back from your time travel trauma rather quickly. You must be a natural. Silver still seems shaken up, but he shrugs his shoulders and manages a slight grin. He notices an intense burning feeling coming from under his skin and all over his body, but he does his best to ignore it. Now I'm sure you're wondering how to prevent the catastrophe that destroyed your world. Silver snaps out of his post-time travel days immediately. Yes, where do we start? What do we do? Mephiles closes his eyes. The Chaos Emeralds. The what now? The Chaos Emeralds. Jewels containing ultimate power. If one were to get their hands on all 7 of them, they could destroy the world. He turns to Silver. Or save it. Are you saying that someone collected these Chaos Emeralds and created Iblis? No, not created. Freed. The being you know as Iblis was not always free to roam your world, but it was among you. Not only do we need to find the Chaos Emeralds, we must also find and terminate anyone who might try to get in our way. Terminate? You said you wanted to give the people of this timeline a chance to thrive, did you not? Well, yes, but... Then you must do as I say, or this timeline will suffer the same fate as yours. Anyone who is collecting the Chaos Emeralds is your enemy. Silver hesitantly nods, and Mephiles begins sinking into the floor, a plume of shadowy smoke pooling around him. Now, we must divide our efforts. Go forth and acquire the Chaos Emeralds so that we may save this world. He vanishes, laughing an evil laugh, though Silver is too shaken up to notice the intent of this laugh. Elsewhere, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are chasing down Eggman's Eggmobile, but he's still got a huge lead on them. He stops abruptly and turns the craft around as the trio catches up. There's no way in hell that I could ever pass for Dr. Eggman, so I really apologize for this. I thought I smelled a rat around here! It's great to see you too, Egghead. So what you been up to? Wouldn't you like to know? Yeah, that's why I asked. Well, tough luck! I'm too busy to sit here and chat with you 3 vermin. Instead, why don't you catch up with an old friend? Eggman slams his hand down on a button, and from behind, Sonic and Knuckles hear Tails yell. They turn around and see Metal Sonic dragging Tails in the opposite direction. The two of them, of course, head off after Metal and leave Eggman alone, who then turns back to the dashboard and down at a radar with 7 blinking lights. What follows takes the place of the first boss fight in Sonic's story. Instead of the Egg Cerberus, we've got Metal Sonic, and it's kind of a Mach-speed race/fight. Sonic is trying to stay as close to Metal as possible while dodging all the attacks and debris he creates, but the goal is to simply reach him before the end of the track. Think of it kind of like the secret stages in Sonic Heroes, except with more Metal Sonic, because Metal Sonic makes everything better. It's a proven fact. Once Sonic and Knuckles catch up with Metal, he's promptly beaten up and gets kicked off the docks of Wave Ocean into the... Wave Ocean? Tails then apologizes for getting grabbed, but Sonic and Knuckles wave it off. It's not like it was his fault, he got distracted by Dr. Eggman. The trio then runs off in pursuit of Dr. Eggman yet again, but behind them a faint glow begins to grow in the spot that Metal Sonic was just kicked into the water. By this point, Dr. Eggman has made it to Dusty Desert and has a new crew of robots digging. He barks at them to hurry up as he notices Metal Sonic's signal cut out, and he has a sinking feeling that Sonic is on the way. One of the robots below hucks a shovelful of dirt into the air, and with it, something brightly colored and shiny. Eggman smiles fiendishly and tries to grab the object out of the air with the Eggmobile's mechanical arms, but they're knocked away by a flash of purple. The desert heat seems to intensify as Blaze lands on a nearby pillar, casually tossing a Soul Emerald into the air and catching it again, her eyes squinting angrily in Eggman's direction. And here I thought today couldn't get any worse! Of course you were in the city when I locked onto it. He looks back at the Eggmobile's console and bangs his fists against the radar. And on top of all of that, this useless contraption is leading me to the wrong set of emeralds. Ah! Forget it, men! Fall back. I need to rethink my plan. He turns away from Blaze, not even giving her a chance to respond, but she is far too confused over what's happening. Since when was there a desert outside of Soliana? More importantly, how was Dr. Eggman in her dimension? All she remembers is a blinding flash of light, and then she woke up in a field outside the city. She's starting to think that she might not be in her dimension anymore, and that's when she catches a sight of a pink object approaching her from over a dune. She jumps down and rushes towards it, not sure if it's something she needs to deal with or not. But thankfully, she comes across Amy Rose, who is huffing and puffing and looking pretty close to exhaustion, actually. Amy collapses as soon as she reaches Blaze's side, clearly not thinking about how crossing an entire desert on foot can affect one's health. Blaze picks her up, and they make their way back to the city with one Soul Emerald in tow. And now Silver's back, because I love writing for Silver. And he's not alone. As Silver flies above the buildings of Soliana, he can't help but be distracted by the sights surrounding him. Everything is so bright, but for once that brightness comes from the sun and not the endless fire engulfing everything where he came from. Silver is so distracted, in fact, that he ignores the flash of green that pops into existence right in front of him and crashes directly into a black figure sporting red stripes, causing them both to fall down to the street below. Shadow hits the ground hard, and his Chaos Emerald bounces away from him. Silver manages to catch himself before he lands, and he winces as he sees the other hedgehog collapsed in the ground a ways away from him. He slowly approaches. Are you alright? I'm sorry, I was distracted by so many things. He starts looking at the surrounding buildings again and almost loses himself in the allure of the world around him again. He shakes it off and goes to help Shadow up. Shadow clutches his head with one arm and pushes Silver away with the other. Oh, that's alright. I should have asked if you needed help first. Here, I think you dropped this when you fell. He motions to the gemstone laying in the streets and levitates it to his hand. As Silver holds the green jewel, he notices that it feels strange, almost like it was radiating some kind of energy. As he stares down at it, he realizes what it is. Shadow straightens himself out and brushes the dirt off his arms, glaring at Silver. Silver looks up at the figure and his expression changes. Mephiles? I didn't think I'd run into you so soon. And you've already found a Chaos Emerald? That's what this is, right? Shadow looks side to side, assuming that Silver's talking to someone else, but then he looks back at Silver. I think you might have hit your head a little harder than you thought. The name's Shadow, and I'd like my emerald back. But you look like Mephiles. And you look like a fool. But that doesn't mean you are one. Thanks, I think? Emerald, now. I'm very busy and I don't have time for this. Silver looks down at the rock and takes a step back, remembering Mephiles' words. I'm sorry, I don't have time to waste either. We need the Chaos Emeralds, and if you're trying to keep them from me, then you're my enemy! Silver assumes a battle stance, and Shadow growls from afar, already being pressed for time and agitated having run into the stranger who's insisting on keeping his emerald. He prepares for battle. And now it's time for a Shadow-Silver boss fight. Depending on what story you're playing, you'll be playing as that character during the fight. If you're playing as Silver, Shadow fights using minor chaos powers such as spears and short-range teleportation, followed by homing attacks. He can't use Chaos Blast or anything extreme since he lacks his emerald. As he attacks with his spears, Silver will need to grab them out of the air with his powers and wait for an opening to throw them back at him. If he throws them too early, Shadow will simply counter the attack with more spears and deflect them. When playing as Shadow, Silver will attempt to grab your Chaos Spears out of the air, so the only way to damage him is by giving him too many to handle, so he's forced to stand in place to attack you. Then, all you need to do is find a way to get behind him during his onslaught and homing attack him. If you get caught by one of the spears, he'll drop the rest and you'll have to start the cycle over. You also can't attack him directly if he's not holding any spears, as he'll grab Shadow himself and send him flying backwards a bit, but not to the moon or anything, because that'd be a silly thing to allow past bug testing. After the fight, regardless of who you play as, Shadow reclaims his emerald, delivers a roundhouse kick to the back of Silver's head thanks to some chaos control, because cutting that from the game would be illegal, and he begins to walk away. Silver is able to lift himself up from that blow and gets a lucky hit on Shadow with his back turned, knocking him into a nearby wall. He lands with a thud and passes out from the blow. Silver is about to run and check to make sure he didn't kill him, but he sees the gem resting in his open palm. Silver nabs the stone and flees the scene without looking back. He doesn't want to hurt anyone, but he's not going to let everyone in this timeline die because of that. And I think that's where I'm going to cut it for now. I know it has been a very long wait in between the first and second part. You can blame my final semester of college for that. It's been hell. So I appreciate it if you waited patiently. If you didn't wait patiently, thank you also for waiting in some form of another, but, you know, maybe don't beg for this video on every single video I ever make, because that'll make it longer in between the next wait. Just saying. But anyway, I'm just kidding. So if you like this video and you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe, click the bell, follow my Twitter, and join the Discord to keep up with more Sonic rewrites and other things that aren't Sonic rewrites, because I do a lot of things. Also, don't forget to check out Motobug, because it's pretty much a Sonic rewrite, except better in my opinion. I'd also like to give a huge shout out to my current supporters who are Raiden Still Plays, Chaotic Mercenary, Cosmic Mushroom, Silva PhD, Jaded Indolent, Jeremy, Lucas Tallman, Megatrefcone, Crystal, Mike TGC, Rob Morrison on Patreon, and everyone else who's supporting me in the $1 tier. Thank you guys so much, it really means a lot. And if you have any interest in becoming a supporter for this channel, go ahead and click the join button beneath the video, or click the card at the top of the video to get shoutouts and other such things that will be happening more often now that I'm out of college. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.